Hey, this is Crystal from Teen Infonet, and I'm here with Holly Elle today. How are you doing?
Good, Crystal. How are you?
I'm great. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Well, I'm a Canadian pop artist, and I'm currently living in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been there for about 7 years.
And are you originally from Canada first?
I am. Calgary, Alberta.
So what is the difference between Canada and Nashville?
Well, there's a big difference between, I think, North and South in general, even within the United States, and it's similar to that. For the most part, it's a lot of the same. I only notice a couple things here and there, and I make sure to point them out to my friends, and my friends point them out to me, make fun of me for my little Canadianisms if I say something different. But for the most part, it's the same.
And could you see yourself coming here to LA, like permanently?
Maybe. I mean, there's something about Nashville that I love so much that I just feel like it's the place for me in the long term, but I like visiting LA. Yeah, and I did live here for 3 months at one point for an internship, and it was fun.
Well, it's just today's a bad day with all the rain and stuff.
I know, we picked the one, they're like, we only rain like this once a century, and that's when I decided to come, but we had some nice weather this week.
So when did you discover your love for singing?
I think, well, maybe from right when I came out of the womb, but...
Did you sing your way out?
Perhaps, yes. I started singing and crying right away. Yeah, I think I started focusing on it right around 12 years old, but I've always loved music and always, singing, always had music in the household. So.
And did you come from a musical background with all your parents and things?
Well, I'd say I come from a background of music lovers, but not necessarily musicians. They're actually all lawyers, which is a little bit different. So I was kind of the first one to step out and do music full time, although, people in my family are music lovers and, as a hobby for sure. And my dad plays and sings. He was in bands when he was in high school. And my older brother is a songwriting partner of mine. He does music part-time as well.
So they never kind of expected you to become a lawyer as well?
They didn't expect me and they didn't push me, but they would hint at it every once in a while. In fact, my oldest brother still to this day, when I come home to visit, he says, "Are you sure you don't want to be a lawyer?" And I say, "I'm sure."
That's good. So how did you get started?
Well, I went to school for music, university. I got a vocal performance degree, and then I decided, okay, I just got to be immersed in music if that's what I want to do, and I knew that there would be better opportunities in the States, so I decided to move. And I was like, New York, LA, Nashville. I took a visit to Nashville. I loved it so much, and I went there. I went to Belmont, and they have the great music program where you can really get involved and meet people and network really easily. So that was how I got started.
What did you listen to growing up?
Well, I have a wide range of influences because I listened to what my parents listened to, which was 60s and 70s, disco and the Beatles and ABBA, and then I listened to what my brothers were listening to in the 80s. I love 80s music. And then when it was my turn to choose my own music, I was listening to a lot of 90s R&B. I love that a lot.
And has your music changed from when you were little to now?
Yeah, I've definitely gotten better, thank goodness, because at first it was pretty bad. I have some pretty cheesy, pretty embarrassing songs that I was writing when I was 12, as you can imagine, but I mean, you gotta start somewhere.
Can you tell us a little lyric from when you were 12?
Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. I actually have the worst memory on earth, just a side note, so I don't even know if I could remember something, and maybe I shouldn't tell you. But I'm thinking one day I might make a musical, since those songs are all super cheesy. I think that could work in a musical, so.
And have little dancing characters.
Yeah, watch for that. Yeah, I mean, I think I had a song about harmony, which actually isn't that bad of a song, but it was just be you, be with me, harmony, and then it was like, whoa, 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 whoa.
I know that.
Sometimes cheesy simplicity, that can cut right to the heart. Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah.
So, what is the most embarrassing song we would find on your iPod or iPhone right now at the moment?
Well, I'm shamelessly in love with all pop music, so I'm not embarrassed to tell you that I would have Justin Bieber. That's probably what other people would consider most embarrassing, especially right now, since he's widely hated all of a sudden. But I'm not embarrassed about it because I think pop music is pop music for a reason. Everybody likes it. It's the same way a Backstreet Boys song comes on, we're all gonna know the words.
Do you have a favorite song of his?
I actually like his acoustic stuff. He did an acoustic album, and that's where you can tell that he's a guy who has talent. I like his Boyfriend song on that acoustic album.
And do you write your own music?
I do, yeah.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
I always get my inspiration from life. So something that's happening to me, something that's happening to a friend, or maybe an idea that I see on TV. It's always an experience that's just naturally unfolding in my life.
So you would turn a sob story into like this popular song?
Yeah, absolutely. But it can still, it can still be something that's gonna, make people cry, even if it's a pop song. It will touch you. Yeah.
So what is the average time it takes you to write a song?
Average time? I mean, it shouldn't take more than a day normally, but sometimes you have an idea and you just keep it, I have notes in my phone or voice memos in my phone, and that chorus could stay there for a couple of years before I might need a co-writer and be like, I remember that idea, that would work really well with you, and bring that out again. So unless I choose to leave it for a while and come back to it, then it could take a long time. But when you get in that zone and you found the right person to work it with, or I'm in the right state of mind to write it myself, then it usually flows pretty easily.
And are there any songs that you've ever recorded that you wish you hadn't, that you listen back to and you're just kind of like,
Maybe I should wish that I hadn't, but I live by a philosophy of no regrets. And I think, that happened for a reason. I needed to write that. That was where I was at that point. I actually had a song come out of high school. It was on the first EP that I ever recorded, or I think I released it as a single, and my mom didn't want me to release it because it was a guy I had dated.
Yeah.
And in the song I was just gushing puppy love about this guy, and then it ended, and she didn't like him anymore, and she was like, I don't think he deserves for you to release a song for him.
His name wasn't in it though, right?
No comment. So anyway, long story short, I was like, Mom, no, that was where I was in that song, and that's just the way it was. There's no reason to not release it. That's the truth.
Do you think you'll ever pull a Taylor Swift one day and do like the ex-boyfriend songs?
I mean, I think I've already done that. I mean, I don't call them out quite so directly, but I mean, every experience that I've had shows up in the songs, and I have a lot of angry songs, so I think I already did that.
And do you remember the first time you performed?
I think it was probably I had a vocal coach, and we would put on recitals. And it would have been in one of those, and I think the first song was Monica, For You I Will.
What do you think about when you're performing? Do you just do like, oh, I hope I don't fall, or do you like think the lyrics?
If I do that, that's a problem, and sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'm up there and I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my god, look at this guy, what's he thinking? I don't think he likes it, or I think I might fall or whatever. But I really have to try not to get to that space, because that's when you're in trouble. That's when you're disconnected from the song. So I try not to do that. To the best of my ability, stay in the song, just convey it to the audience, and everything else will fall into place.
And do you have any pre-show rituals?
I do. I'm kind of a weirdo when it comes to my show. I have to kind of be left alone.
Yeah.
I can't eat too close to the show, and I always eat the same thing, which would probably be like a sandwich. It has to be something like, I couldn't eat like spicy food or something. And I wake up way before the show, and I just stay relaxed all day long. Eat 4 hours before, and basically people just have to kind of stay away, because I'm easily spooked before a show. Yeah, I have to stay in a specific zone.
So do you get more like pre-show jitters, or do you get more excited?
I think a little bit of both, and it depends on the show, but I try to really trust it, because there just comes a point when you have to say, I just have to, I practiced and I did my work, and if I did that, I just have to trust that when I get out there, it's all going to come out.
And what is the best and worst part of your career?
I think the best part is when you get to influence somebody's life or touch them in some way. When I've had someone say to me, I love that song, or I woke up singing your song, or that song helped me through a tough time. That's the best part for sure. And the worst part is the uncertainty of it, the fact that there's no instruction manual, especially being an independent artist. I never know from one day to the next what's going to happen. I'm totally following a dream, totally out on the ledge, just faith, doing the best that I can, and trusting that it's what I'm supposed to be doing.
And which song of yours has the most meaning to you?
Well, the most meaning? That's a good question. I actually like singing a song with my brothers that has a lot of meaning. It's called Fade Away. I released it as a single, and him and I are super close. And I remember when he first played the song for me, I was bawling, and I was like, I have to record that song one day. So that meant a lot to me, to be able to take something that was important to him and feel it and convey it in the same way that he intended as a writer. That was really cool.
So what do you think you would be doing if you weren't singing? besides the lawyer thing?
Yeah, well, I still would be doing that. That would be like my very last choice, I think. But I'm actually really interested in psychology. I think I would totally be like a counselor, psychologist. I took some classes in college, and it's really interesting to me.
You could somehow make people like a certain artist and all that.
Yeah, subliminal messaging and hypnotize them. But maybe you are doing. I'm kind of doing that in a way. If the song is cathartic to somebody, then there's music therapy. Maybe I can combine the two somehow.
So, what do you think makes yourself different from other artists?
I just think everybody has their own voice as an artist, whether you're doing music or painting or whatever, and nobody can say that and convey that the way that you can, and I think everybody's special that way.
And what 3 words would you use to describe yourself?
Well, ambitious and hardworking, I guess, and fun. I like to have fun no matter what I'm doing, not take myself too seriously, get a little goofy. Like in my new video, you can see it was my first chance to show that side of my personality, and we just totally went over the top with it, and we were just goofballs and had a lot of fun, so that's important to me.
And where do you see yourself in the future? Where you're hoping to?
Well, my most important thing is to keep doing what I love. You can't really do it for any other reason than that. Obviously, there's things like I'd love to win a Grammy or work with Max Martin, things like that. But at the end of the day, if nothing else, if the music keeps touching somebody, even if it's just a few people, that's all that matters.
And do you have like a biggest goal or dream that you hope to achieve?
I've got the Grammy on my. I got a vision board, and that would be nice because it's just a way of measuring it. Because so much about art is subjective and not measurable. So that would be from a group of your peers saying, hey, you did good. That would be nice.
So what are you currently working on right now?
I actually am in town here in LA to write and record a single, which I did. It's finished, and it's called Lifeline. Yeah. And I'm going to be releasing it here pretty soon, so I'm very excited about that.
And where can people find your music right now?
You can go to hearholly.com, my website, and from there you can hook up to all my social media. But Twitter's my handle is hearholly, and I have my Facebook page, and you can find all the music through any of those outlets.
And thank you very much. It's so
Thank
great meeting you. Be sure to check her out at hearholly.com.
Yes.
There you go.